Hi, shalom friends. Everyone I know is either on a diet or trying to lose weight or is paying more attention to their diet. And it's obvious because we are all familiar with the issues that arise from overeating. And there's another segment of the population that have issues with drinking alcohol, and they too have been warned and they've seen the harm that could sometimes happen from over drinking. But I want to bring to your attention something which is not spoken about, and that is the danger of overthinking. Now, I could almost hear you saying, thinking is good. How can you overthink? Well, the best way to bring out my point is through, guess what? A Hasidic story. There was a time before people owning expensive cars, they owned expensive horses. And as we take precautions to make sure that we have insurance on the cars and that they're well protected with alarms, so too this nobleman bought some expensive horses and wanted to ensure that they would not be stolen. So he decided to hire a night watchman. Anyway, the sun sets and he's hired a guard to sit outside in front of the stable where the horses were. And the nobleman did his thing and went to bed. But he was just perturbed. He was wondering what would be if this fellow fell asleep. So he figured, you know what? He'll go and check. So he goes downstairs in his pajamas and he sees the night watchman, and indeed he is awake. He was very pleased, and he said to the night watchman, I was a little worried that you might doze off, but I see you're very alert. What keeps you up? He says, well, I want to let you know, my thoughts keep me up. I'm a great thinker. And when I'm engrossed with thinking, I don't fall asleep. So the nobleman said, what, a philosopher as well? Tell me, what are you thinking about right now? He said, well, I was thinking, to me it's very intriguing that a person could knock a nail into the wood. I was wondering, where does the wood go to make room for the nail? Nobleman had never thought about this. He says, that's really an interesting question. I could see why you are alert and awake. And he went upstairs and muttering to himself, it's so good that people are thinking, keeps them awake. Anyway, he fell asleep. He wakes up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and his first thought is, 1 second, is he still awake? Let me just go check, just in case. And he goes downstairs, and sure enough, the watchman is very awake. He says to the watchman, I'm so impressed. I don't see any fatigue on your face. What keeps you up? He says, I already told you, I'm thinking. He said, are you still thinking about that? And he laughs. No, are you kidding? You have to have different thoughts. She says, what are you thinking about now that's keeping you up? He says, well, I'll tell you the truth. When you eat a bagel, I understand where the bread goes, but where does the hole go? The nobleman says, brilliant. That's a real observation. I am confident that I have nothing to worry about. You will stay up. And he slept very peacefully until 6:30 in the morning. And he gets dressed and he comes outside to say goodbye to the watchman. And once again, he sees the watchman deep in thought. And his eyes are open. And he runs over to him and he says, Watchman, I'm so proud. You did not sleep once during the night. He said, no, I did not. She says, so what are you thinking now? He said, well, I'm thinking I'm a watchman and I'm watching the stable, but I don't hear the sounds of the horses. I don't hear any neighing. He said, what? He runs to the back, and sure enough, the entire back had been removed during the night, and the horses were stolen. So what does this story illustrate? The dangers of overthinking. Okay, I hope you're smiling, but if not, let me tell you what you should be deriving a lesson from. There are certain people that are thinking about how to solve, for example, world hunger. There are tens of millions or perhaps hundreds of millions of people that do not have enough food, so they're thinking about it. In the meantime, in their own neighborhood, and perhaps on their own block, there might be 1 or 2 homeless people. But because they're thinking so much about world hunger, They just simply overlook the need that's right on their block. Or being a rabbi and Chabad, I could just tell you a teaching that I see from the Rabbi. There are great organizations that are concerned about the future of Judaism, and they notice that the synagogues are the membership is dwindling. So they call a conference, and they decide to do a study. Why is it that synagogue attendance is going down? And they spend $500,000, spend 2 years doing research and interviewing people. After 2 years, they come together and they find out the reason is because you fill in the blank. In the meantime, during those 2 years, more synagogues closed, and there were less people attending. The Rebbe's approach was, stop thinking so much. Just do something. In fact, one of his pithy and very, very powerful teachings in the Hayom, recorded in the book Hayom Yom, is better one good deed than 1,000 groans and sighs. Oh, this is so sad. Oh, this is terrible. No one is studying. 1,000 sighs won't make a person study. 1,000 sighs won't bring a kid into a Jewish school. And 1,000,000 groans will not keep a person from assimilating. But one good deed might. One Shabbos meal, one tefillin, one lighting of candles, one associating with the Jewish community. That's all you need. So there's a time to think, and there's a time to do. And obviously they're both correct. But without a shadow of a doubt, now is the time to do. In fact, to end off with a thought that's derived from Talmud. This world is like a wedding. What does it mean it's like a wedding? If you've ever gone to a very, very busy wedding, people don't, and it's lively and people are dancing and people are excited, there's no time for a nice, quiet, relaxed meal. They go to the smorgasbord. There are waiters walking around with hors d'oeuvres. You take a hors d'oeuvre and you take a l'chaim and you jump into the circle and you're dancing. Who has time to sit and relax over a long dinner? In a way, that's this world. There's a lot of delicacies out there. Now is not the time to sit and take a delicacy and think about it. Now is the time to grab. Grab a mitzvah here, grab a mitzvah there. Grab a good deed, grab an act of kindness, grab an act of charity, grab an act of holiness. And if we will do this, we will be truly busy grabbing mitzvahs. Hashem will actually usher in a period of time where we will not relax, but then we will be able to savor and enjoy the great mitzvahs that we accomplished here and now. Shalom.